test. There we go. Hey. So remember a couple Fridays ago we were talking about, feedback and how feedback is important for making sure that everything that you're trying to do is being done in a way that's moving you closer to the goal that you're going after. Well, part of my feedback to the show is watching my audio meter to make sure that my mic is live, and it wasn't. So we're going to start the show all over again. Are you ready? Please stand by. Hey, welcome to the Tiger Forge show. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but that's live, that is gonna happen when you're doing a live show. Things are gonna happen. And one of the great things I love about this show is that it is live and that anything could happen. And I think that makes it really interesting. Plus, you'll never know what I'm gonna say. It could be anything. So, yeah, let's just roll straight into it, right? Today's show is all about motivation because it's Motivation Monday. And if you've ever wondered why it seems like motivation abandons us just when we need it the most, and how to keep yourself going even after motivation has left the building, you're in luck because that is exactly what we are talking about on today's show. But it wouldn't be the Tiger Forge show if we weren't kicking it off with the Dance Your Butt Off. This totally counts as your workout. So, are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? Whoops. Are you ready? Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not ready. Are you ready to discover how to keep going even when motivation is flagging and get your workout on all in less than 15 minutes? Well, good. Let's roll that intro. All right, it's Monday on the Tiger Forge show, and before we get into the motivation segment of our program, we are going to kick the show off the same way we kick every single episode off, with the Dance Your Butt Off. This totally counts as your workout. And the reason behind this little bit of silliness is that it can be very difficult to motivate yourself to work out. When you're facing down an hour-long workout, or 40 minutes, or 30 minutes, or even 15 minutes of something, it can be daunting. It can back you down. Just the idea of having to work out for that long can be very intimidating. So, to take the bite out of building your fitness habit, what we're going to do is you and I are going to work out right now in this very moment, because this is live, and we're going to work out together, and we're going to work out for just the length of one song, some very good song. We're just going to work out to that song and get on with the rest of our lives. And by work out, what I mean is dance our butts off, because this is the Dance Your Butt Off. This totally counts as your workout. Today's track comes to us from Craig Reever. Craig, we've been playing him on this show since the inception of this show because his music is just excellent. It's just really great dance pop, and I love it. And this track is no exception. And the vocals on this track, I'm actually not sure who the vocalist is on this, but she's amazing. Her voice is incredible, and the beats on this, you are gonna love it. At least I hope you are. So, without further ado, how about we just start the countdown and get into it? Are you ready to dance? All right, here we go. Start that countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. we start every single dancer butt off. This totally counts as your workout with the sides to side shuffle. And the reason why is because it's super simple. It's an easy way to just start getting into it. If you're going from, sitting in your chair to getting up and dancing with me, then you're gonna want to take a moment to get your body warmed up. And this side to side shuffle is the best way to do it. And once you start feeling the music, once you find the beat with your feet, then get a little bouncy with it. Throw your arms in there. Just do what feels good. That's the best part of this. There's no wrong way to do it. You can do whatever you feel, and it's the right thing to be doing right now, as long as you're moving. That's all that's required. Oh, this beat is so good. I love it. What a great track. I needed some good music for Monday. It's kind of gloomy here in Los Angeles. Gloomy days and Mondays always make me sad. So I needed something good to get my blood pumping. Yeah! Ooh. Can't believe that Craig Reever isn't like a huge international star, because the music that he's putting out is just phenomenal. Someday, I'm rooting for you, Craig. It's got a little Kygo vibe on there, I think. If you're just tuning in, you're wondering, what is going on? What's with this dude dancing on my screen? So he thinks he can dance? No, that's not it. No, this is the Dance Your Butt Off. This totally counts as your workout, which is an easy way to start getting your fitness habit started. Dancing it out the length of one song, and it totally counts as your workout for the day. Get on with the rest of your life, already knowing that you already worked out, and you're on for the rest of your life without having to worry about it for the whole day. How awesome is that? I'm excited about it. It's a little self-serving, but whatever. Oh, wow. That was great. Nice, easy one today. I loved it. That is the Dance Your Butt Off. This totally counts as your workout. Again, big shout out to Craig Reever for this. What a great track that he left us with today. I love it. All right, it is Motivation Monday. And if you've ever wondered why motivation seems to abandon us just when we need it the most, and what to do to keep going when motivation has left the building, well, you're in the right spot. Have you ever wanted to make positive changes in your life? If you're human, I imagine that the answer to that is yes. But then when it gets down to the nitty gritty of actually taking the time and putting in the effort that it takes to make those changes, motivation seems to peter out. Have you ever noticed that? If you're like most people, you have had that experience. And I don't know about you, but when it happens to me, I always think that there might be something wrong with me. I always feel like that motivation should just be something that is intrinsic. It's just a part of who I am. Or at the very least, I should be able to muster motivation whenever I want. So if I want to get something done, I have this idea. I don't know where this idea came from, but I do have it, that I should just be able to muster the motivation to do that thing on my own, that I should have that power. I don't. I don't. And no one does, because that is just not how motivation works. Motivation, and this is a common misconception about motivation. Motivation is not energy. Motivation requires energy to work. I think we believe as a people that motivation is the energy that kind of moves things forward, that gets things done, but it's not. Motivation needs to be fed because it requires energy. It doesn't produce it, which is this mind-blowing concept once you start to think about motivation in these terms. We've been looking at it this whole time like it should be the energy that moves us forward and helps us achieve our goals, but it's not. It's its own engine that needs its own particular kinds of fuel to run. And that's why it keeps flagging. That's why we keep losing our motivation to get things done, and usually right when we need it the most. And that's because we haven't been feeding our motivation engine with the fuel that it needs to keep going. And this is a brand new concept for almost everybody. It's a brand new concept for me. It took me, my entire career to figure out that, oh, motivation isn't just something that you have on demand. It's not like you turn on a motivation tap and you've got hot and cold running motivation anytime you want it. No, it's something that needs to be fueled itself. And there are a couple different types of fuel that you can use to keep your motivation going. So there is the reason that you're making the change. That can be part of the fuel for motivation. So, for example, when you're trying to get in shape, whatever the reason for that is, that can be the fuel to motivate you to actually do the things that you need to do to get into shape. Sometimes it's the results of your program. So if you are actually keeping your fitness habit and you're doing what you know you need to do every single time, then you're going to start seeing the results of your work. And when you do, that can fuel your motivation to keep going. But that one's tricky, and you have to be very careful about that because if you're relying on your results as opposed to your habit to drive the engine, if you have a week where the results don't come back the way you want them to, and you will, because that's just the nature of this, then your motivation is going to run out of fuel and it's going to sputter and die unless you find another form of fuel to feed it. And one of those forms of fuel could be steaks. Like, for example, I'm a personal trainer. You probably knew that if you've been watching this show, if you've been following me, if you've trained with me, then you know that personal training is what I do. And early in my career, I tried many different ways to motivate people, and one of those ways was to train them for free. I thought, this is my gift. This is what I have to offer the world. So whenever I see somebody that's struggling with their fitness, my instincts are to train to train them, whether they can afford it or not. But what I realized was that without the stakes, the motivate there was no fuel in their motivation engine, and so their motivation would sputter and die even though they were getting free training. And I started to realize, oh, it's because they don't have the skin in the game that drives that can be the fuel for motivating the positive changes. So sometimes having paying for a personal training session, having skin in that game in the form of money can motivate you, can fuel your motivation to actually keep showing up. And that is actually one of the ways that I do motivate my clients is I charge them, and they know that if they don't show up for the session, they're going to lose money, and that can be a powerful fuel for the motivation engine. But what really is the magic formula is finding a bunch of different fuel sources for your motivation. So maybe it's a combination of all of those things. Maybe it's the stakes of having already paid for it and being afraid of losing that money, plus seeing the results, plus just enjoying the program itself. All of those things can fuel your motivation engine, which will keep you going, keep you trucking on towards your goal. And that is the key. The important thing to keep in mind is that motivation is not energy in and of itself. It requires energy to work. So you have to keep feeding it, and you need to find the energy sources to keep you going so that you can go as far as you possibly can when you're working on making positive changes in your life. Speaking of motivation, I want to thank you for watching this show. The idea that you're getting something out of it every time you watch this is what motivates me to keep doing the show, because the promise of this show is that I give you a quick and easy fix that you can use to start making positive changes in your life right now. And we get our workout on all in less than 15 minutes. And without you, there is no Tiger Forge show. So thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I actually can't tell you how much I do, except by trying to pay back your investment of time by giving you something useful, something that you could actually use in your life right now. So until tomorrow, when we're going to talk about taking stock and how you can use taking stock to achieve almost any goal you want to, this is the Tiger.